Okay, now we need to prepare our paper. You should have a 9x12 sheet of drawing paper in your folder. Right now I have I think this is 11x14. So if you have an 11x14 sheet of paper, that's not the right paper to use. Okay, this is actually the colored pencil paper, which you will need later on. I just drew a border so that we can pretend that I have a 9x12 sheet of paper. Okay, so our final drawing is going to be 8x10. Okay, too many supplies on my table here. So what we want to do is measure out a rectangle within our 9x12 paper. So you guys ignore this part, okay? Doesn't exist for you. So what I want to do is take my ruler. I'm going to put the 1. Instead of using the edge of my ruler, I'm going to put the 1 on the edge of my paper. So we're pretending this is the edge of the paper, right? And the 1 is going to be on the 0 line, the edge of the paper. And so my paper is 12 inches wide. I need to do a 1/2 inch border on 3 of the sides. So I'm going to make a mark at a 1/2 inch. Okay. And then just to review, let's see, rulers. Let's zoom in. Let's focus on that there. Okay. So we have 1 inch. Then the second longest line on a ruler is your 1/2 inch mark. Then this shorter one is a 1/4 inch. Then we go down to an 1/8 of an inch and then a 1/16. Over here we have 32nds, those little teeny tiny lines, okay? So you know where you are based on the length of the line. The longest line is a 1/2 inch. Second longest is a 1/2 inch. Third longest is a 1/4. Then we go to the 1/8 and the 1/16. Okay? So we're going to measure, the edge of the paper is going to be on our 1, and we're going to make a little mark. We're going to just basically continue this line, boop, like this from our 1/2 inch point. And the 1/2 inch is the second longest line on a ruler. Okay? So 1 is on the edge of the paper. Make a little vertical line at the 1/2 inch mark. Slide my ruler down. Do the same thing at the bottom. Okay? Now I'm going to flip my ruler. Oh, you guys can't see that because it's not in focus. Haha, sorry. Okay. Now I'm going to flip my ruler and I'm going to connect those marks with a light pencil line. I'm going to make sure my ruler is on each of those marks. I'm not going to hold my ruler perpendicular to the, I'm not going to hold my pencil perpendicular to the ruler. I'm going to hold it straight down, parallel to the ruler, and just lightly drag my pencil down. And there's your 1/2 inch border. Now I'm going to rotate my paper. I'm going to do the same thing. 1 is on the edge of the paper. Make a mark at 1/2. And whenever I'm measuring, honestly, I like to put my nose right above my ruler so I can really see what I'm doing. Okay. Slide your ruler down. 1 is on the edge of the paper. Make a mark at a 1/2 inch. Flip the ruler. Line it up with the marks you just made. So there it's touching that mark. Here it's not touching the mark. I'm going to scooch it over. Now it's on that mark. Double check the top. Looks good. Pencil is parallel to the ruler. Drag it down. Okay, there's my 1/2 inch border. Now I want this to be 10 inches. My paper is 12. 12 minus a 1/2 inch. 12 minus another 1/2 inch is 11. I don't want 11. So I'm going to make this border 1.5 inches. Okay. We're going to get there in a second. Let's stick to all the 1/2 inches. So again, 1 is on the edge of the paper. Make a mark at a 1/2 inch. Slide it down. Mark at a 1/2 inch. Also, my fingers have chalk pastel on them. Make sure you guys wash your hands before you do stuff. Otherwise, you're going to get fingerprints. Okay. Ruler, line it up with those 2 marks. We flip the ruler now. And make sure it's lined up nicely. And a light line across. Okay. So now we have a 1/2 inch border. So let's double check this. This measurement between this 1/2 inch border and this 1/2 inch border should be 8 inches. Let's check it. Is it 8 inches? It is 8 inches. Awesome. We did that right. Okay. So now we want this measurement from this border to be 10 inches. I can do it this way. is one way. Make a mark at 10. Or I can go from the edge and measure in 1.5 inches. Okay. So I'm just going to measure from the 10. Go down, line my ruler up with my border that I drew, and then make a mark at 10. And then flip my ruler and connect those marks. Perfect. Okay, so now we have an 8 by 10 picture plane here. We have this extra border of paper here. This is where we can try out our drawing pencils. Okay, so if you want to get the hang of it, how it works, test out the hardness and the softness of the pencils, you know, which you guys, most of you did on your abstract drawings, which was great. But this is a tonal drawing. Okay, so this is again where we want to make sure we're not seeing pencil strokes. Okay, so the drawing paper you're using has a nice subtle texture to it. And you can see, let's actually zoom in a little bit. And you can see I'm just kind of gently moving my pencil around. I'm sort of scumbling, sort of circling. Okay, and that is avoiding any pencil strokes. I'm varying my pressure, changing direction. So nice close cross hatching and layering is also a way to avoid pencil strokes. But when you start to shade this guy, you want to make sure we don't see pencil strokes, we don't see outlines, and we see nice smooth gradients of color. Okay, so this little section here, this extra 1.5 inches on the side of your paper is a good place to practice things. Okay, and why do we draw borders on our artwork? Well, if I have this beautiful drawing and then I need to pick it up and I get my thumbprint on it, or I wrinkle the corner, or now I want to put it in a mat and now there's no room to tape it in, right? So we want to have a border so that we're protecting our actual artwork. Our artwork is a good standard size. Like this will now fit into a frame, into a mat if I want, a pre-cut 8 by 10 mat. Okay, and we're not having to cut off parts of our artwork. So that's why it's really helpful to have a border. And then that way when you have to pick it up, you can pick it up from the corners and you're not touching your artwork, because finger smudging on your artwork is not good. Okay, so that is measuring out your frame there so that you have an 8 by 10 image to start working on. Okay, thanks for watching.